A leader in artificial general intelligence, a robotics and computational finance researcher, founder and CEO of SingularityNET. A warm welcome to Dr. Ben Goertzel here with us. Ben, please welcome on stage.
All right, thank you. So it's a real pleasure to be here at the Superintelligence Summit, and I have to say I'm slightly jealous of Trent for talking about such out there, exciting yet very realistic stuff. Now, what I'm going to talk about is equally exciting, I think, but perhaps a little more predictable. I'm going to talk about what we're doing with the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance to build decentralized AI and decentralized AGI. In the unlikely event I get through my presentation super fast, then I'll diverge onto some more crazy, even more crazy and out there stuff also. So, but what I'm going to talk about now is how do we get from AI to artificial general intelligence to artificial superintelligence without screwing up our lives too badly, and doing so in a way that's to broad benefit for humans and other sentient beings. And to clarify the terms before going further, AI, as most people here know, wasn't actually invented by Sam Altman, right? AI, the term was coined in the 1950s. The ideas have been around since before that. I've been working on AI since the 1980s, started reading about it when I was a kid in the early 70s. It's not a very well-defined term. Pretty much AI just means software or hardware doing stuff that we think is smart when we see people doing it, right? And there's historically been a trend that as soon as computers can do something, the world decides it's not AI and it's just software, right? But AGI means AI that can generalize, can take an imaginative and creative leap beyond its training and its programming. And society acculturates humans not to do that very often, but we do have a capability to do that current AI software does not yet have. But many of us believe we could be just some small integer number of years away from making AI that can generalize beyond its experience in programming even better than human beings can. ASI, artificial superintelligence, then basically means an AGI that's way smarter than humans. And coming along with that, we're likely to have some specific features, like an ASI should be able to understand and analyze itself quite well. An ASI should be a fantastic ASI programmer, right? And my own view is, once we get to AGI, to human-level general intelligence, I suspect we're just some small number of years from getting to superintelligence, because I think an AGI can make many copies of itself. An AGI can make another AGI that's a little smarter than it. They can make another AGI that's a little smarter than it. After a few iterations, you're getting to a superintelligence. This is what the mathematician I.J. Good in 1965, a year before I was born, called the intelligence explosion. So I think our task is to get to an AGI that will then build the ASI. Now, people have been worried that when we get to an AGI or an ASI, it may not find much use for humans. I can't say that's impossible. What I can say is it has to do with the value system that you give the AGI that you build. And I have more faith that an AGI that's built in a democratic and participatory way by a broad swath of people cooperating with each other is going to lead to a beneficial value system. And that's the main reason I want to get AGI built on a decentralized platform, which is a vision that Trent McConaughey and I have shared for a long time, along with others in the now rapidly growing decentralized AI community. So this is all why we formed the ASI Alliance, right, which is a tokenomic merger of SingularityNET, Ocean, Fetch.ai, and we've since welcomed a fourth partner into the group, which is a CUDOS, a decentralized AI compute provider. And SingularityNET, Ocean, and Fetch all founded around the same time. We got started in 2017. I think Ocean and Fetch were like a couple months after or something. But with different technologies, different people and perspectives, but to some extent a shared vision of decentralized AI agents living on different machines around the internet. AI, which is immanent among many different machines running in different places without any central owner or controller, in the same sense that a Bitcoin network doesn't have a central owner or controller. Now, when Ocean, Fetch, and SNET combined to form the ASI Alliance, we didn't merge our companies together in a traditional corporate way. We merged our tokens together, right, and into a new token that will, once we've aligned all relevant third parties, be called the ASI token. Right now, it's still trading with the ticker FET from Fetch, which is a temporary thing that hopefully will be resolved before too much more time has passed. But merging the tokens together doesn't require us to collaborate. On the other hand, we are in fact collaborating, and having a shared token, a shared incentive in that way, has kind of nudged us to amp up collaborations that had been sort of brewing but not getting acted on for some time. And I had some great chats with Trent and others in the Predictor team over the last couple days about sort of things we'd been thinking about for a while but hadn't put into practice. So shared token gives shared incentive for collaboration among the projects, which I think can end up moving us faster toward our shared goals, right? And I'm going to run now quickly through the different projects that have come together into the ASI Alliance, and then talk about some of our shared product development initiatives. So SingularityNET, the one that I know the most about, I co-founded in late 2017, and our approach has evolved a bit over the interim. I mean, we started with a vision, which we have since realized, of building a decentralized AI agent system where AI agents can run on different machines scattered all over the planet, coordinated together with no central owner or controller. The original notion was more just to make a heterogeneous AI marketplace and let random developers from around the world put stuff on that network. We did build that. We did get some developers putting stuff on there. To be honest, it didn't take off to the level that we originally were hoping it would. But I've been pushing ahead quite hard on my own research toward artificial general intelligence. And we now have what I would say is the strongest AGI R&D team outside of a big tech company, and also the strongest AGI R&D team that's not focused on deep neural networks, but is focused on, or is not focused solely on deep neural networks, I would say. We have a strong deep neural net team led by Sergey Shalapin, who's here in the audience. But go Sergey. But we also have strong teams focused on evolutionary learning, probabilistic logic, and other AI paradigms. And what we've been focusing on recently is then creating a new AGI toolkit called OpenCog Hyperon, which integrates AI methods from multiple paradigms within a common framework on a self-modifying decentralized knowledge graph, and then using this to go toward AGI that combines neural nets, logic, evolution, and other methods deployed on the decentralized network, and then working on building a sort of cross-vertical market DApp ecosystem, leveraging these unique proto-AGI tools. And we have a significant number of spin-off companies, joint ventures, and partnerships within SingularityNET ecosystem, all of which are building decentralized AI-based products, and all of which are working toward using these cross-paradigm OpenCog Hyperon tools to do things in their chosen verticals, from DeFi, humanoid robotics, medical, music, and more different verticals than I have time to run through now. And this network just gets richer and richer as we add in integrations with Fetch, Ocean, CUDOS and other members of the broader ASI ecosystem. Now, Fetch.ai, sometimes in the evolution of SingularityNET, we kind of viewed this as our main rival, actually, because I mean, we're both developing AI agent systems. We're both kind of founded around the same time, and their focus, when you dig deeper, was slightly different than ours. So SingularityNET was focused more toward AGI, and Fetch was focused more on agents in the sense of AI agents that serve as a proxy for a person in doing something, and thinking a lot about when you have a task, how does that task get decomposed into sub-agents and so forth. So they have something called Delta V, which backends on the Fetch agentverse, it's also an AI agent marketplace together with some heuristics for taking a task and decomposing it into multiple agents that run on the Fetch marketplace. They've got some nice videos on this on the Fetch.ai website if you take a look, and a bunch of agents have been built there, doing a bunch of computing, exploring applications in various different vertical markets, right? So now, Ocean Protocol, I'm not going to say much about because you've heard it right. You've heard it right from the horse's mouth here, right? I mean, I've been following. I was in the Ocean ICO from the beginning. I remember meeting the Ocean team in Berlin in 2018. So I've been excited about what Ocean's doing really since before they started, because I encountered Trent's work in symbolic regression and genetic programming. I mean, before either of us got that seriously into crypto. So when Trent got into crypto, like, I knew it was going to be something interesting. And most people in the room know what Ocean does already, but I mean, I first encountered Ocean as a decentralized sort of data marketplace, or more properly, like a data access and data metadata marketplace with a lot of cool innovations like compute to data mechanisms and so forth. And the Predictor product, which has been a major focus in the last years, is a quite interesting way to leverage this decentralized data framework to do something very real and productive in the current crypto market, right? So you have something prediction market-like with a decentralized pool of predictor bots and a decentralized pool of traders and trading agents sort of working together. And what Trent and I and some of our respective teams were working out the other day is sort of alluded to here in this picture, and I'm just going to let you be amused by it and not explain it due to lack of time. But what we were talking about was how to extend the predictor framework beyond what it currently does. So currently you have prediction agents that are incentivized by the clever game that Trent and his team came up with to make correct predictions about crypto markets, and they're incentivized by tokens to do that. And then you have trading bots that can make money if they use those correct predictions. So you have a sort of circular reinforcing economy there. What we're exploring is how you would use that more broadly to do different kinds of cognition, because decentralized AI systems have to make many other decisions besides whether a market is going to go up and down or what trade to make. And this same sort of incentive game with minor variations could be used to guide decisions in other sorts of decentralized networks. We'll probably start exploring that by looking at using OpenCog Hyperon agents running on SingularityNET to learn trading bots, which then work within the predictor framework. But you could use the same thing in bioinformatics or automated theorem proving or various other areas. So this is still at the R&D phase, but connecting predictor with some of the Hyperon-based automated program learning that we're doing for different applications like DeFi or biology within SingularityNET. That's a fertile ground for exploratory collaboration between SNet and Ocean, which we could have done anyway, even without the merger into the ASI Alliance. But certainly, it's nudged us to explore this more enthusiastically. And Predictor has quite impressive usage. I would say probably more so than any other product in the ASI Alliance ecosystem at the moment, which is quite exciting and something that can then be explored and extended in a variety of different directions. CUDOS, which has merged into the ASI Alliance more recently after the founding, CUDOS is a compute infrastructure with a decentralized network infrastructure layered on top of it. And SingularityNET, we're building our own Singularity compute infrastructure, which is some supercomputers to be added into our decentralized compute network. CUDOS already has a bunch of this in a different way. I mean, they have server farms running AI compute, and then there's a decentralized marketplace of compute providers and compute consumers using a blockchain to mediate these interactions. And we've been digging in how to make their infrastructure more and more decentralized now that they've merged in with us. But I think it's quite interesting to have this sort of compute provision explicitly as part of what ASI Alliance is doing. So you can look online and find all the stats on the CUDOS intercloud infrastructure. But I think this is it's an important addition. And for example, now with CUDOS and also Singularity Compute, when people put agents on the SingularityNET AI marketplace, we can now allow them to host those agents, right? And before that, we didn't have a specific way to provide hosting for them. It's like anyone can host their own agent, which is great, but what we found is a lot of AI developers don't know how to host their own agent, right? So, I mean, people who are good at AI aren't necessarily good at setting up a server and dealing with cloud infrastructure. So this CUDOS and Singularity Compute let us provide an easy way for AI agent hosting, which, along with other things, should be fantastic for growing traction on our platforms. Now, this slide, we're kind of jamming in here in a hasty way, a new announcement, actually. And this is this is another fantastic crypto project, PAAL, which we are proposing to merge into the ASI Alliance. And it's not a done deal. It's a proposed merger, which will be put to the vote of the ASI token holders as well as the PAAL community. And PAAL I had known for a while basically through their AI-based Telegram bots on various Telegram groups. They're large language model-based bots for answering people's questions about different crypto projects. And they've been offered white label to a whole bunch of different users. But I've been impressed with the PAAL team and their ability to rapidly put out products that get a lot of actual users and finding product market fit. And I think this can be a very interesting addition to the whole ASI infrastructure. Where the first joint product that will probably come out of the PAAL merger is something called ASI Learn. So we're looking at how to use PAAL's Telegram bot infrastructure to make a bot back-ended on SingularityNET to help teach people about AI, basically. So if you have random Telegram users who want to invest in different, crypto AI tokens, maybe we can teach them what a neural net is and what a logic engine is and so forth. And PAAL's infrastructure for LLM-based, Telegram bots targeted to the crypto community, I think can be very, very helpful for that. But a more immediate term product I want to talk about briefly is a ASI Create product, which has been architected principally by Nick Nafak, who's in the audience here, who's SingularityNET's chief product officer, who I knew through years of interaction when he was in the Cardano community, and he's still being helpful with our interface with Cardano land as well. So what ASI Create is about is, we're not yet creating ASI, but we're creating things that are part of the path toward ASI anyway. And what ASI Create is about is giving an easy no-code to low-code platform for AI developers without necessarily a whole lot of theory background, for AI developers to use to connect and large language models with knowledge graphs and fine-tune the large language models and then connect them with either their own knowledge graphs or knowledge graphs that they upload. And it's well known that LLMs are amazing and brilliant, but yet have significant shortcomings. Among them, they hallucinate a bunch of random stuff and don't form coherent world models. But a knowledge graph can contain factual ground truth and can contain a coherent world model. Connecting an LLM with a knowledge graph can then enable it to perform more reliably and intelligently in various contexts. It can also allow it to perform more creatively, because if you can check your creations against ground truth, you can then be more exploratory in your creative production. We've been connecting LLMs with knowledge graphs for quite a while within SingularityNET's AI team, but it's wonky, right? But allowing average AI developers who are just used to making little Python scripts to glue together LLMs, enabling them to connect large language models with knowledge graphs in a very easy way, I think will be a fantastic contribution. And this is the ASI Create platform. And we're taking this as an exercise also in using SingularityNET, Fetch, Ocean, and CUDOS together on the back end, where Ocean is an option for managing data sets that are used by these LLMs and knowledge graphs. CUDOS, along with Singularity Compute, is an option for hosting the models and knowledge graphs that you have. And the core functionality for training the LLMs and knowledge graphs involves a Fetch core node and a SingularityNET node working together in the background. So we're getting all the different ASI backend technologies to work together to achieve what's hopefully a pretty simple, seamless front end that I will click through very quickly. So and then the ASI Learn education product that we're working on together with PAAL then uses ASI Create on the back end to create a certain interactive experience for Telegram users. But let me, for the last few minutes of the talk, take a little step back to the broader context. So I've sort of taken on the task of going through what we're doing with ASI Alliance, which seemed important to educate people about. Now, how does that fit into the broader world that we're living in right now? I mean, economically, we can see even pretty conservative, ordinary business people are projecting the AI market to grow pretty fast. Now, personally, I think this is an extreme underestimate, because if you ask me, if we're going to get human-level AGI somewhere around here, which we don't guarantee, but seems plausible at least, if we're going to get human-level, if it happens that we get human-level AGI somewhere around here, say maybe by rolling out OpenCog Hyperon on the ASI integrated network, right? Then what they're showing over here is going to be quite different. I'm not in good enough shape to show you, actually. We need to bring Trent back up or something, right? But even pretty conservative business people are painting a pretty dramatic story in terms of growth of AI market, even without a true breakthrough to AGI. And this is all pretty much aligned with what my friend Ray Kurzweil has projected and described in his book, The Singularity is Near. But I also think Ray is way too conservative, to be honest, because I mean, he thinks we're going to get human-level AGI in 2029, and then ASI, superhuman intelligence, in 2045. I can't imagine why you'll have 16 years there. Like, once you get the AGI, it's going to be way faster to the ASI, and then once you have the ASI, I don't know how long it is till you get whatever is the next thing, right? Like ultra intelligence using closed time-like loops to think with space-time as its cognitive substrate or something, right? I mean, I think once you get beyond the human level, you can really grow quite rapidly. Now, there's a number of pathways to get there. I've talked a bunch, understandably, about my own approach of OpenCog Hyperon, bringing neural nets, logic engines, evolutionary learning together in a self-evolving decentralized knowledge graph. But I want to emphasize that while that's my own research thrust as a scientist, I mean, I'm a mathematician originally, From an ASI Alliance perspective, we're creating a heterogeneous network within which many, many different approaches, creating AGI and then ASI, can not only coexist, but potentially closely interoperate, right? And we have large language models, and I don't think they're the key to AGI, but if they are, no reason we can't run a bunch of open source LLMs learning and doing inference across the decentralized ASI network, right? And then we have the potential that you create a bunch of AI agents running at a decentralized platform, and AGI just pops out of the coordinated activity of these agents in a way that wasn't even anticipated in the first place, which is of great interest to Humayun Cheek, the founder of Fetch, who couldn't make it here, unfortunately. Then we have the notion of world models, that instead of trying to emulate a human intelligence, right, you're putting agents like Predictor and other more sophisticated agents out there that bring together multiple agents within incentive games to summarize and then contribute intelligence to the global brain network of the internet, right? So many different approaches getting to general intelligence. We don't know for sure how fast each one will progress. What we can say is we're advancing all of these within the ASI Alliance on a decentralized, participatory, sort of democratic software substrate. And we have software tooling that allows them all to interact with each other and potentially accelerate each other, right? And this drives a fairly ambitious tech development roadmap, which I will just read out the things on there since I'm out of time. I mean, I've talked about the ASI Create framework and the compute infrastructure behind it with SingularityNET, CUDOS, and other products. Once ASI Create is launched sometime early next year, well, we've got a beautiful decentralized infrastructure for a DApp ecosystem, right? Just put your DApp on our infrastructure, put it on any machine you want. It talks to protocol, connect it to the network. And we'll be driving more and more ASI hackathons to get more and more developers into this ecosystem. We have a number of parties who are interested in doing ASI accelerators in multiple parts of the world. And then there's a bunch of other things you can do to pull together software and human resources to advance all this. So Nick and I have been talking a bunch about the notion of an ASI supernode, sort of a more ambitious kind of deep-in AGI processing network built on top of the ASI infrastructure. And you can go beyond that then, like how do you look at clusters in this network of supernodes? We've also been looking at how do you better bring together the human beings in this community to make collective decision making toward guiding these networks of nodes and agents toward doing the right kinds of AI for human benefit, which is an initiative called the BGI Nexus, Beneficial General Intelligence Nexus. So keep an eye out for the conference BGI 25, Beneficial General Intelligence 2025, which will be digging more into that. And you know, by all these things coordinated together, I think we have a viable path to get from AGI and then to superintelligence. And finally, I will make a pitch for my and Gabriel Axel's book, the Consciousness Explosion. So Gabe is one of the two guitarists in our band, Desdemona's Dream, who'll be performing this evening for the conference. But he's also a neuroscientist, and we've put together a book trying to lay out our thoughts about how to get to beneficial AGI and ASI through decentralized AI networks. I think there may be a few copies lying around out there. There's also a free PDF anyone can download online, or you can buy it on Bookshop or Amazon.com. And yeah, that's about what I have time for. So these are such exciting times, right? I mean, I started reading about things like AGI and superintelligence when I was a kid in the early 1970s, and now, you know, here we are a good 50 years later, and we've got a room full of like brilliant, excited people explicitly gathered together around the idea of building superintelligence in the near term, right? This is pretty fucking amazing, right?
Thank you, Ben. I
All
think
right.
it was a fantastic foundation and explanation of how all technologies are working together. There's one of my favorite quotes from Henry Ford actually is, "Coming together is the beginning, staying together is a progress, and then ultimately working together is success." So I think that was just perfect towards ASI. Is there any questions for Ben in the audience? Any super intelligent question today?
Oh, that's a high bar. But we might not be smart enough to recognize it, right? So, yeah. Someone in the back had a question, it seemed like.
Hi, my name is Hadi. Thank you for your amazing presentation, Dr. Ben. I have two questions. I've been in AI for a long time, for already 20 years. First question is, since you mentioned there's AI and then AGI and then ASI, what is the milestone from AI to AGI and then AGI to ASI? What are the problem needs to be solved and what the question needs to be answered so AI can grow to AGI and then to ASI? And my second question is, why knowledge graph? You mentioned knowledge graph is the missing link in the current LLM, and then you have knowledge graph perhaps to solve that hallucination. But why knowledge graph? I'm quite curious about that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so those are both big questions. I'll try to give short pointers to the answers for them. So about what is AGI and what is ASI, I mean, there is a mathematical theory of AGI. You can look up the book Universal AI by Marcus Huder. But in the mathematical theory of AGI, I mean, humans come out pretty lowly ranked on the universal scale of AGI. The math theory of AGI isn't really that helpful for telling, in what sense a human is more of an AGI than a monkey, or what software systems are achieving human level AGI. I think in practice, we don't have a litmus test for AGI. That doesn't really bother me. I mean, biologists don't have a litmus test for life, but synthetic biology goes on. I would say in practice, like for me, if I had a humanoid robot that could go to MIT, go through all the classes doing the same things as humans, graduate, then publish a bunch of papers and win some Nobel Prizes, I will be willing to accept that as a human level AGI. But I mean, that's not a rigorous mathematical test. I would also note Francois Chollet, the AGI researcher, has a test, AGI ARC, which is a bunch of simple generalization puzzles about geometric shapes, which any non-retarded human can solve quickly, but LLMs fail miserably at, and all current AI systems fail at. So on the other hand, just because a system passed AGI ARC, I wouldn't necessarily accept it as a human level AGI, right? But I don't think the lack of a great testing framework for AGI is especially what's holding us back. My view is what we see in transformer neural nets and LLMs is that some fairly old AI ideas, moderately tweaked and massively scaled up, have led way better results. And what I'm thinking is, if we massively scale up a bunch of other historical AI approaches like probabilistic logic, evolutionary learning, activation spreading, massively scaling those up and then applying them to learn from their own experience and connecting them together, I mean, this may yield quite amazing results and get us to AGI. But about your second question about knowledge graphs, there's sort of two pieces to that answer, because knowledge graph is a very big thing, right? So in a very short-term context, if you look at overcoming the problems with LLMs, a major problem is hallucinating random nonsense. So connecting them to some sort of knowledge base of ground truth is a good way to stop them from generating random nonsense. And so we then have kind of primitive methods like GraphRag for doing that against knowledge graphs. And we have more sophisticated methods like reasoning against OpenCog's Atom-Space knowledge graph. And so these are just practical ways to make LLMs hallucinate less and work better. Not to say they're the only ways. They seem to be the best ones out there right now. Right now, from a more ambitious standpoint, the kind of knowledge metagraph that we're using in OpenCog Hyperon is more flexible, and in this data structure, we can put higher order predicate logic statements, we can put programs in functional or logic programming languages, we can put perceptual data and action movements. We can put these all in this knowledge knowledge metagraph, right? So it's sort of just an integrative data structure that works well in current programming languages and on current hardware. I mean, it's not the only way to do things, but it seems to be working. But there's a lot of depth behind the whole OpenCog Hyperon design that I'm not going to try to pack into this answer.
Thank you, Ben.
Sure.
I guess just for interest of time, okay. But generally, okay, we'll take one questions after every speaker, so.
Thank you. I did clear it with the team first. I know we're out of time, but it's a question for both Trent and Ben, and I wonder if Trent might come back and answer it together. Trent and Ben. So Ben, you're predicting AGI not implausible 2 years, 2.5 years, N26, 27. Trent, you're predicting in the next 10 years. I
would say 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5, 3 to 5. I like the 26, 27. We'll stick on that. What?
I was saying 1 to 3 years.
1 to 3. Okay,
yeah.
nice.
For AGI and then ASI, you know, if you say 1,000x compared to AGI, then that's 3 years later because we're talking 10x a year, right?
Okay, fantastic. And Trent, you made the point that we can either be scared or we can be excited.
Or both.
Or both, or both. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to ask you both is, like, with this incredible, on the brink of this incredible technological breakthrough, what do you both see as the most exciting applications to real world, either in curing misery, solving inequalities, bringing brilliant new technologies and solutions? What's your wildest dreams?
Being unbound by our bodies and not only exploring the cosmos, but reshaping it. That's the grandest adventure I can think of, and I can't wait to get started.
Yeah, I mean, I'll stick with that and add nanotech and femtotech into it, right? I mean, it's free, flexible manipulation of mind and matter, right? But I mean, this is really just the singularity. So I mean, if you're asking about what interim problems to be solved on the way to this singularity are most exciting, I sort of think that's not the right question. I mean, there's going to be a lot of them. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of amazing interim applications, and I don't know how to balance like having AI that can make amazing new Nobel Prize-winning discoveries versus AI that can feed starving kids in Africa. But we don't have to choose which one of those is more important because beneficial AGI can do both of those things within roughly the same frame of time.
Thank you. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.